Today I'm going to show you how to unbox and set up a Clearaudio Concept turntable. When you receive your Concept, first open the box after removing the staples. This piece is a foam protective piece for shipping it. It comes off of the turntable spindle. You want to make sure that you have prepared a flat, clean space to set your turntable down on. You also want to make sure that the turntable is sitting on a level surface, or as level as you can get it. In your accessory pack is a bubble level, which you can use to check the level of the surface you're going to be placing the turntable on. You can remove the turntable from the box first by taking out the RCA plugs and then gripping the turntable by each side, like so. So lift the turntable out, set it on your surface. After removing the turntable, remove the rest of the protective padding. On the bottom level of the box, you'll see the turntable platter, as well as two long, skinny cardboard boxes. The box that's labeled accessories, you should remove from the box and empty out next to your turntable. It's highly recommended that you hang on to all the packing materials for the Concept turntable, including all foam pieces in the outer cardboard box. This is in case the turntable ever needs to go in for service or needs to go in for some sort of upgrade. You need this packaging in order to safely ship the turntable, so it's highly recommended that you keep it. Inside the accessory box you'll find the power supply for the turntable, along with 4 sets of blades, which all correspond to different plug types which are used around the world. In the US you're going to locate this one. You can set the other blade types aside, discard them, or hang on to them for future use. Also in the accessory pack is a Clearaudio bubble level. This is what we're going to use in the next step. There are also tools for adjusting the tone arm and changing the cartridge. You won't need those during the initial setup. And then there is finally the Smart Stylus gauge, which you will need to double check the tracking force of your cartridge. Also included with the turntable is the drive belt. This will either be in the accessory box or around the spindle. You can set that aside for now and locate the bubble level, which was located in the accessory box. Putting the bubble level on the turntable plinth will give you an idea of how level the table is. To start with, see if you can get the turntable to be level enough so that that bubble comes to a rest in the center of the black circle. If it doesn't come to a rest in the center of the black circle, use the threaded feet at the bottom of the turntable to adjust it. The Concept turntable has rubber locking threaded feet. So to change the level of the turntable, you can begin by taking this knurled knob, which is the locking mechanism, and putting it in the lowest position. You can then turn the whole foot in order to change the height of the foot. Move it to a position, set it down, and then double check with the bubble level until you're able to get the bubble in the center. Once you've achieved the correct leveling position, you can then move this knurled knob up to the top of its travel and tighten it to lock the foot in place. Once you've confirmed that the table is level using the bubble level, it's time to install the platter and the belt. Locate the drive belt, which, like I said, is either in the accessory pack or wrapped around the spindle when you first get the turntable. Remove the belt from the bag and put it around this stainless steel subplatter. That then goes around the pulley shaft. So when it's in the correct position, you should be able to spin this by hand, and the belt shouldn't wobble. It should be positioned in between the two cutouts of the motor pulley, and should also look fairly even alongside the sides of the subplatter. So next, remove the platter from the bottom layer of the packaging. Take it out of its cellophane bag. Hold it by the underside, that way you don't get any fingerprints on the top or sides of the platter. You can also hold the platter like this to avoid getting any fingerprints or scratches on it. It then will lower over the spindle and onto the subplatter. The Clearaudio Concept turntable comes with the Verify aluminum tone arm, which is pre-mounted to the table. It's a magnetically suspended tone arm, and in order to ship it safely, it needs to be shimmed and taped in a number of places. So before you can play it, you need to remove all of these shims. First, underneath the counterweight, this shim slides right off the back like this, and this front shim comes out from underneath the arm wand like this. Those can be set aside. You want to hang on to those to keep with your packaging. Next, this piece of foam goes in between the two suspension magnets. You can apply gentle pressure down onto the top of the tone arm, and that will slide right out the side. Finally, you can untape this piece right here, which goes around the rest. That tape comes off like so. So the Concept turntable comes pre-mounted with your choice of moving magnet or moving coil cartridge. The cartridges are pre-set up at the factory in Germany, so they are aligned and the tracking force is set. However, due to the turntable being jostled around in shipping and the act of removing the shims from the tone arm, some slight shifts in the tracking force setting can occur. So it's advised to use the provided smart stylus gauge to double check the tracking force of the tone arm. To do that, locate your smart stylus tracking force gauge and set it in the center of the turntable platter. You can then remove any protective tape and or the stylus guard from the cartridge. Make sure that your tone arm lift mechanism is in the up position, and then bring the tone arm over to the center of the platter. Rotate the platter by hand so that the smart stylus gauge comes to rest right around the 2.5 hash mark. The Clearaudio Concept MM and Concept MC cartridges have a tracking force range of about 2 to 2.5 grams. If you're using a cartridge besides one of these, you'll have to check your cartridge manufacturer's specifications to find out what the recommended tracking force is. For the sake of this setup demo, we're going to try to get this tone arm to track at 2.5 grams. So by lowering the tone arm onto the smart stylus gauge so that the stylus makes contact with the 2.5 gram hash mark, you see that this does not cause the stylus gauge to tilt. This means that we are currently tracking lighter than 2.5 grams. In order to increase the tracking force to get closer to the goal, cue the arm back up, put it back in its rest position, and turn the counterweight clockwise from the rear position or counterclockwise from looking at it from the front in order to increase the tracking force. Then go back and double check. At this point you can see that on the 2.5 gram hash mark the gauge has completely tilted, which means we have exceeded 2.5 grams. So the next step is to now go back, turn the counterweight in the opposite direction to try to find the middle ground between those two settings. You could probably kill it. So now lowering the tone arm onto the 2.5 hash mark results in the scale balancing itself. This indicates that we are now tracking at 2.5 grams. So now we're ready to plug the turntable into the AC grid. Take the supplied blades for your power supply and install them like so. They'll snap into place, and you're now ready to plug this adapter into your AC mains, and this jack goes into the back of the turntable here. Now at this point we're ready to connect the turntable to your phono stage and or integrated amplifier. In this case we're using a standalone phono stage. So locate the inputs for the phono stage and plug the corresponding colored RCA plugs into the inputs. At this point, your stereo should be completely powered off. Next, attach the ground cable to the ground lug on the back of your phono stage or amplifier. It should be securely connected in order to avoid any noise or buzzing as you listen. If you don't have a standalone phono stage, then you need to have a receiver or integrated amplifier with a phono stage built in. Most will be labeled phono. Some will be designated as MM or MC. Make sure that you read the documentation for your integrated amp, receiver, or phono stage to make sure that you're plugging into the correct input for the cartridge you are using. Now that we have the turntable power supply plugged into the AC mains, and the tone arm cables are plugged into your phono stage and or integrated amplifier, we are now ready to play a record. Turn the knob to 33 RPM, or the corresponding speed. Lift your tone arm, place it over the outer groove of the record, then cue the arm down. Gravity will do the rest. And now you're ready to enjoy the music from your Clearaudio Concept turntable. To get the best performance possible out of your Concept turntable, we highly recommend the Clearaudio Concept clamp. It's a weighted puck that sits over the top of the spindle. This will not only increase the sonic performance of your turntable by coupling the record more directly to the platter, but it'll also help take care of minor bow warps in records. We also recommend cleaning your record with a dry carbon fiber record brush prior to each listening session. In order to do that, you turn the turntable to its proper operating speed, hold the brush against the grooves for a couple of rotations, and then bring the brush towards yourself. This will remove most surface dust and will protect your stylus and give you better sound.